For the first question here, they mentioned about calculating 55% of the seats that is occupied. Hence, simply takes 1540 multiplied by 55%, then you will get 847. So for second question here, A union with everything other than B. So this will be the part that you're required to shade. Whereby for the other one is everything other than A intersect with B. So just shade off everything other than the intersection part. So for part 3 here, I actually changed the 81 into 3 to the power of 4. Then the 4 over there, I changed it into 2 to the power of 2. Then I multiplied with the power that was originally there, and I get 3 to the power of 1 divided by 2 to the power of negative 4. After the rearrangement, you will get 48. Question 4, same thing, a continuation of indices topic. So the multiply here will become plus on the power side. Reason being their base is the same. So 4 to the power of m plus 2 equals to 4 to the power of 12. m plus 2 equals to 12. M equals to 12 minus 2. So your final answer for M will be 10. But for part B, they are assessing you on divide now. So divide will translate into minus in the power section. So you will get 6 to the power of p minus 5 equals to 6 to the power of 1 over 2. So p minus 5 equals to 1 over 2, p equals to 1 over 2 plus 5. So your final results here will be 5.5. At section 5, question A. So the keyword here is 1 hours. And 1 hours will translate into 6 minutes with 3,600 seconds. So 3,600 times 24, then you will get the results as 86,400. And to change this into standard form, 8.64 times 10 to the power of 4. Reason being, you shifted the dot forwards by 4 column. Question 6 here. The topic is from mathematically similar. So you were given the height of the smaller egg is 2 cm. For the bigger one, it's 6. So to compare it to its mass. Mass here is actually the volume or the capacity. So I'm using the comparison method. So I'm required to cube root the mass results that was given. So 2 over cube root of 4 equals to 6 over cube root of the mass of the large egg. So run the calculation, shift the variables correctly. You should get your answer as 108 grams. Question 7. So they are using the distance formula here as stated in the photo. So you basically just required to set which coordinates to be represented as your x1 and y1, the other one with x2 and y2. Fill in the blank and run the calculation. You should get your results as 13.9. Question 8. Calculate the radius of a sphere with a volume of 1260. So 4 over 3 pi r cubed equals to 1260. R equals to cube root of 1260 over 4 over 3 pi. So your final results will be 6.7 centimeters. So for section 9, the first thing you need to identify is that the 2x, based on the concept of alternate angle, okay, the 2x will then be transferred to the lower part here. So entire thing form a straight line, hence 2x plus 5x will be equivalent to 180. So x equals to 22.5 after the calculation. For question 10, okay, this is actually a simultaneous equation. So from 1, I rearrange it into y equals to 30 minus 3x. Substitute it into 2. Okay, run the calculation and you get your x results as 13. So when your x is 13, substitute back into 3 to identify y's value as negative 9. Question 11 is assessing you on the lower bound. So the first thing here to do is to identify the rounding value. So they mentioned about 1 decimal place, then you take 0.1 divided by 2, you will get plus minus 0.05. So to plus or minus simply based on the question given. Okay, so the perimeter for rectangular, you have 2 length and 2 width. Hence, you can see I take the 23.3 minus 0.05 and multiply it by 2. Then add it up with 19.7 minus 0.05, then multiply it by 2 again to get your final results of 85.8. To calculate the area, both sides of the rectangular must be the lowest possible value in order to get the lowest possible area. So 43.3 minus 0.05 multiplied by 19.7 minus 0.05. So the final results for this will be 465.8625. And if you were to round it to 3 significant figures, you will get 466. Question 12. So after 10 hours and 33 minutes, it will be on the next day already. So you can see I added 10 hours 33 minutes. Then I convert it by minusing it off with 24 hours. Then you will know the next day it will arrive there at 8 a.m. and 1 minute. So over at the next part, calculate the average speed. So you already have the total distance. All you need to do is to convert the time into hour format. So the 10 hours and 33 minutes will then be written as 1033 over 60. So after conversion and round it up to 3 significant figures, you'll get your results as 78.4. So the key assessment here is whether you can convert and digest the ratio given. So 1 to 20,000 is actually 1 cm to 20,000 cm. And this 20,000 cm is actually 0.2 kilometers. So 2.7 multiplied 0.2 kilometers, you will get your results as 0.54 kilometers. As for part B, a field has an area of 64,400 meters square. Okay, so what I did here was to convert the 20,000 centimeters into meters by dividing it by 100. So 1 cm is actually represented by 200 meter. Okay, so and 1 cm squared will automatically translate into 40,000 meter squared. So 64,400 divided by 40,000, you will get 1.61 centimeter squared. Question 14, pretty straightforward. I will be using the quadratic formula. The A here is 2, B is 3, and C is -6. Substitute it into the respective value in the formula. -b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. You will get your results as 1.14 or -2.6. Question 15. So find the value of x. Keyword here is by adding everything up, you will reach a result of 36 students. So run your calculation, you will get your final results of x as 4. Section B, number 1, plays the drum but not the guitar. So the denominator will be those who play the drums. Okay, it will be 5 plus 1 plus 4 plus 7. Okay, equals to 17. And the numerator is those among playing the drum that doesn't play guitar. So it will be 5 plus 7. So your final results here, 12 over 17. As for section 2, plays only 2 different instruments. This one will be being compared to the total students. So total students, there's 36 of them. Okay, those who play 2 instruments only will be 2 plus 5 plus 4 equals to 11. So your final results, 11 over 36. At section C, a student is chosen at random from those who play the guitar. Okay, so find the probability that these students play no other instrument. So among those who play guitar, it will be 8 plus 2 plus 1 plus 4, it will be 15. And those who play guitars only is 8. So your final results, 8 over 15. Question 16 here, okay, the key assessment is the characteristics of a square. And to calculate the total area of the square is actually by taking k times k, which is k squared, and minusing it off with the circle's area. Okay, the radius here is actually half k. So you can see me writing down k over 2 as the radius over there. Okay, and the difference here, okay, will be equivalence to a. So after the conversion and to change their denominator into the same, shifting it around, you will get 4k squared minus pi k squared equals to 4a. Whereby for part B here, make the k the subject. Okay, I extracted k squared from 4k squared minus pi k squared. You will have a balance of 4 minus pi. Okay, I shift the 4 minus pi to the other side and change it into its denominator. Okay, and to get rid of the square, I simply apply a square root over there. So your final results, k equals to square root of 4a over 4 minus pi. Over at question 17, to calculate angle AOT, okay, I will be using 180 minus 90 minus 24. Then you will get a result of 66 degree. How do I know it is a 180 degree? Because AOT is a right angle triangle. AOB is a isosceles triangle because AO and OB is having the same radius. Okay, so their respective value will be 57 degrees. So you have CAB's results as 57 and ABC's angle value as 90 degrees. Reason being, it is angle from the diameter. Okay, so find ACB's value, simply takes 180 minus 90 minus 57 and you get the results as 33. And to find angle ABT, okay, since you already have OBA's value, which is 57, it is a straight line over there. So 180 minus 57, you get your ABT's results as 123. For question 18, okay, couple of things that are written down is that PQ equals to 2QS. This will translate into PQ equals to 2 over 3 of PS and QS equals to 1 over 3 of PS. The other thing is M is the midpoint of PR, which means that PM equals to half of PR and MR equals to half of PR. So QX to XR is 1 to 3, which translates into QX equals to 1 over 4 of QR and XR equals to 3 over 4 of QR. Okay, how do I know this? Is to check and get rid of the variables that's repeating here. So QX to XR, X is repeating. So the total of it will be referring to QR as the range. That's how I derive the equation. So part A, number 1, identifying RQ. This one we'll be using RP plus PQ. RP equals to negative R because we only have PR's value as R. When you change the direction, you're required to add a negative there. So negative R plus Q equals to Q minus R. Whereby for MS, okay, we will be having MP plus PS. Okay, so 1 over 2 of RP plus 3 over 2 of PQ. Okay, which then will translate into 1 over 2 bracket negative R plus 3 over 2 Q. After the final calculation, you will get 1 over 2 bracket R 3Q minus R. As for part B here, okay, show that X is the midpoint of MS. Okay, so first thing that I do was to identify MX value by taking MR plus RX. Okay, the final results you will get it as 3 over 4Q minus 1 over 4R, whereby for MS over there is actually 3 over 2Q minus 1 over 2R. And the midpoint of it, simply multiply half into it, you will get 3 over 4Q minus 1 over 4R, which then proves the statement that X is a midpoint of MS as they are having the same exact vector value. As for question 19, write down numbers of seconds that the trains travel at its constant maximum speed. It will be 10 minus 2, which is 8 seconds. To calculate the distance, simply identify the area of this. So this is a trapezium shape. You have two options. Either is to calculate it as one rectangle, two triangle, or simply use what I did here, which is the trapezium formula, by taking the top plus the bottom divided by 2 and multiply by the height. Your results will be 165 meters. As for question C, so to calculate the acceleration or deceleration, we'll be using the coordinates and gradient formula. So acceleration means I'm using coordinates 0, 0 and 2, 15. So I set them into x1, y1 and x2, y2 respectively. So the final results of the gradient will be 15 over 2, which is 7.5 meter. Question 20. So this is function question. So they gave you g bracket 6. Okay, so this 6 is to be substituted into x position in function g. So you have 2 bracket 6 minus 3, the final results will be 9. Whereby for the other one, which is f bracket 2x, so this 2x will then be substituted into function f x position again. So 2x to the power of 3 will get you 8x cubed. So for part B here, okay, I changed gx into 2x minus 3, and this 2x minus 3 will then be substituted into f function's x position. So we have 2x minus 3 to the power of 3 equals to 125. 125 can be adjusted into 5 to the power of 3, so that we are comparing the base of the indices. So 2x minus 3 equals to 5, x equals to 4 after the calculation. Okay, find the inverse function of g. Okay, always sticks to my 3-step here. Step 1 is to change function g into y. So we have y equals to 2x minus 3. Sort x and y's position. Then rearrange it into your new y. So new y here after the rearrangement is actually x plus 3 over 2. Hence your g inverse function will be x plus 3 over 2. So that's pretty much it for this paper. I hope you find this helpful. If you have friends that are struggling, feel free to share this to them. I wish you all the best for your upcoming examination. Thank you.